This is the show. So, cheerio, yell, scream bravo. Also, if you didn't know, this is called the show.
With DJ Primo.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. My name is DJ Primo. I'm your host. And right here to my left is my man, Mr. Ruben Gonzales. He's the founder of Coachella Car Club, also the founder of the Coachella Valley Lowriders Association, and also Ruben's Ranch in Coachella, which is it's a little haven for people who want to come out and have a good time and enjoy themselves at Ruben's Ranch. We'll get that a little bit later in the show. Right now, I have my special guest, Mr. Ruben Gonzales. He's going to go and talk to you, ladies and gentlemen. Introduce himself, Ruben.
Yeah, my name is Ruben Gonzales. I'm a local native from the Valley, born in India, raised in Coachella. I've been here pretty much all my life. The little time I spent in San Diego, went to San Diego for a few years there, back in the late 70s. We came back into town about 79. I got into construction at the end of 79. I was in the union from 79 to 86. 86, I got my general contractor's license and also my engineering license. So I have a general engineering contractor's license and also general contractor's license. I've been building all these years, and I've been involved in the community for many years. As a young man, our family was involved with Cesar Chavez back in the late 60s, early 70s. So I had an opportunity at a very young age to get exposed to the Chicano movement, civil rights movement. So that was a real interesting part of my life and something that experience that stays with you forever. I mean, it's a life-changing experience. But so yeah, that's part of my life story.
It's interesting, man. You've been it's like you've been around a lot. You know,
oh yeah,
you've done a few things in your life.
Yeah, I've been involved in public service for pretty much my entire life, probably over 50 years.
Wow.
So been involved with the elected officials, or congressmen, assemblymen, supervisors, city council, school board members.
Nice.
So I've been involved for a lot of years in public service. It's it's a passion. I think originally when I got involved with Cesar Chavez, or like I said, our whole family was involved. My brother was Cesar Chavez's personal bodyguard.
Oh, nice.
Spent a lot of time with him back in the late 60s, early 70s. So we were involved in the boycott here in 72, 73. So we did the boycott here in Coachella, and then we had an opportunity to go to Kern County. So we spent some time in Arvin, Lamont, Bakersfield, that whole area, Delano. But I had a little short stay there in La Paz, which is where Cesar Chavez is buried now, his wife Helen. So we had a connection with that family. So that there was a piece of property up in the Tehachapi Mountains that was donated to the United Farm Workers.
Oh, nice.
And that's what they created their Epic Center, their hub. They have two of them. They have the 40 acres in Delano, and they also have La Paz. So I got to spend some time. And it used to be an old tuberculosis hospital.
Really?
It's
wow.
High altitude, beautiful setting, pine trees. So I got to spend a little time. And it was interesting because, I don't know, years and years later, I took my kids up to the mountains outside of Fresno, and we stopped there. And that Cesar already had passed away, so his wife Helen hadn't passed away yet, but that's where he actually his last resting spot now.
Oh,
so
nice.
he's actually buried in La Paz.
You guys go out there. They still own that. They still have that property.
Yeah, it belongs to the United Farm Workers.
So they take care of it. They maintain it.
Yeah, they maintain it. That's where he's buried. His wife Helen's buried there now.
Is it like a museum or something?
It's a museum, and then it was the original print shop. So anything that had to do with print and marketing for the United Farm Workers,
nice.
It was done out of the site. And then also, like I said, they had the 40 acres in Delano. I think that was the original property that they purchased, and then
Wow.
eventually they got the La Paz donated to them.
Nice.
So beautiful setting, just peaceful.
Yeah, whenever we take it right out there, man, go and check it out.
Yeah, everybody get an opportunity.
Yeah, if you guys get an opportunity, man, go by there and check it out. I mean, can you find it? Can they find it like on the website or like on?
Yeah.
So look it up on Google or
it's
something.
It's called La Paz. Yeah.
La Paz.
United Farm Workers. It's one of their main hubs.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like you got like a lot of history with the Chicano movement and stuff like that. So
I
got a lot of respect, brother. I mean, I got a lot of respect for that. I mean, no, really do. I mean, because it's our culture it's evolved and it's gotten through a lot of stuff. And like we're still going through a lot.
I was fortunate. I got to interact with a lot of the great leaders. They call them the Three Horsemen, which is actually Jose Angel Gutierrez out of Texas, Reyes Lopez de Irina out of New Mexico, and then Cesar Chavez. So I met all three of them. I met them, spent some time. Reyes Lopez de Irina did some presentations in my place a little before he passed away. He was already in a wheelchair, but he was actually considered the Malcolm X of the Chicano movement.
Oh, wow.
What an amazing man. Just some beautiful stories that he had.
I bet.
Jose Angel Gutierrez, we did a book signing for him at my place too. So I got a chance to interact with him.
At your place, that
Ruben's Ranch? Place at Ruben's Ranch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he's still around. He's the last living horseman that they consider a horseman. But he lives in Texas. He had a short stay in Redlands, California, trying to get a job at one of the universities. But the guy had just got blackballed because of all this progressive movement that he advocated throughout the history of his life. You know what I mean? But he's an amazing individual too. He became a judge during the Crystal City movement in Texas, but he's just an amazing guy. He's written books on Cesar Chavez, on Reyes Lopez de Irina, and just a bunch of the books. But very real intellect, but a super cool cat, man, and just an amazing story. So Cesar Chavez too. It was interesting because as a kid, interacting with him, but kind of naive at the time. I was probably like 13, 14 years old. You know what I mean? So I never, in my wildest dream, thought that he would become this international icon. That
you never know. It's funny. You never know who you meet.
Yeah,
because people like, oh damn, I didn't know that.
He was our leader, man, but he was just a regular guy. He was humble.
That's awesome.
Very well respected among the people that followed.
Kind of like yourself. No,
really,
Ruben, you think about brother. I mean, you look at like what you do. I mean, because if you don't know, Ruben, he's also a mentor for a lot of the youth here in Coachella Valley. He's got an amazing story. You're gonna hear about it. He does a lot of mentorships for a lot of kids out here. We're going on the wrong path. He kind of steers them back to it. So it's pretty interesting story. You're gonna like the story, man. It's why I have him on here because it's good. He's got a good thing going on. He's doing a lot of positive things, like I like to do here. I mean, we all want to do stuff positively in this valley. I mean, we want to. It's a small valley. If you don't know Coachella Valley, it's very small, but it's Thank you, Miguel. It's a small valley, and it should be a tight knit valley. I mean, we should be together, and we're going to work on that. We're working on that. We're going to get that done.
We're going to do it. Should we get into the association? Or?
Yeah, in fact, Ruben, like I said before, he's also the founder of the Coachella Valley Lowrider Association here in Coachella Valley. So he's starting it, and we're trying to help get it out.
Yeah, I'll give you a little historical perspective on the lowrider movement on the Eastern Valley. I'm not too familiar with the West Side because it wasn't very active back then. I mean, there was a place that we used to gather way back in the days. It's back in the 70s where there was a swap meet called Sun Air, and like all the fellas from Palm Springs, little neighborhood called the Dream Homes, but they would hang out there. They had the lowriders, but a few of them, and then Coachella had an Indio. We had a bunch of them too. So we would go there for a swap meet, and there was this guy, an older cat by the name of Armando he was from East LA. So he would come out I think it was every Tuesday night.
Oh, wow.
And at that time, we would buy the 45s.
Oh, yeah.
There was no cassettes or CD.
I still got a couple of those.
But he was an amazing guy. So he had all the records that everybody in the neighborhood was looking for.
Oh, nice.
So he was somebody that we all gravitated to way back then, you know what I mean? But that's, and then in Coachella, the movement started, back in the 60s. I know that one of the oldest car clubs that have been around for a long time is the Cab Drifters. They started in 1970. So they celebrated their 50 years a few years ago.
Oh, nice.
But they're still around. They have a small membership. At one time, they were big. It was a big club. I understand 30, 40 wow. Trucks. But
what kind of trucks were those? Was that like
just mostly classic trucks, 50s, sometimes in the 30s, 40s, but mostly 50s.
Oh, cool.
And it had to be they have the sidestep on it. I didn't allow.
Oh yeah. I mean, in fact, my uncle Larry back in L.A. He had a truck club back in the day. They were called the California Step Sides.
Yeah.
And they were in the movie. Was that Boulevard Nights? See, they came out there. So we went to drive and go watch that. It was pretty cool. I mean,
yeah, and I've heard some stories because I have an old cat, a friend of mine that actually painted one of my cars. It was a '54 Bel Air, the yellow and white one that he painted. His name's Art Gomez. He was one of the pioneers in Coachella and actually Indio, but he went to CD High School, graduated in '58, and then eventually moved to Hammett area and set up a body shop there for a lot of years. Came back to the desert, but he was, when he was working on my car, it was a full 1 year project, turned into a 5 year project.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I really know all about that now when people say, "Oh yeah, we'll take me here to do it." But anyway, he told me some amazing stories. He was part of a Ford truck company. I think they were a car club or truck club out of Riverside, where they had people in the Coachella Valley too that were part of the club. So I heard a bunch of stories. The tug of war with cab drifters and a bunch of cool stories.
You don't see that very often anymore.
No.
Tug of wars, all that good stuff. We used to have in the car shows all the time, but now it's like all that good stuff from the back of the day is kind of like fading away. We got to
bring it back. We got to bring it back, and it's just a matter of conversation and dialogue and engaging, the membership of all these different car clubs that exist in our valley.
And that's what the association is going to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we have some pretty cool plans of what the objectives will be for the association, and I think it's going to be real nice.
Oh, yeah. Once you get it off the ground, and once you get, like I said, it's consistent. People see that, hey, this is actually happening. They're going to want to be on board.
Yeah, the main objectives for the association, obviously, and they exist in San Francisco and Los Angeles and San Diego, and so even in the Imperial Valley. So, yeah, my take on it, and the reason I've been pondering the idea for a lot of years, and finally we kind of put it together. And I thank you, Primo, and the Big Red Chula, and some of the other car clubs that are actually part of the project. I mean, they're part of the people starting it, but it's something that's needed. It's always about respect, and so that's what we're going to continue to advocate. Make sure that everybody respects each other, and that's one of the main objectives.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we got to keep the peace and make sure that community stays together, and we're able to build, and just do whatever it takes, man, to continue to build our lowrider community in the valley, and not only in Coachella and the valley, but I'm talking about all Southern California and even people outside the area.
Oh, yeah.
But it's about just respecting. I mean, making sure that
having a good time.
Everybody have a good time,
and when people like this, we talked about before, having shows and not having conflicting dates. I mean, that kind of thing, and just everybody to support everybody out here because it's needed.
I think the objective would be to is to have a schedule, a yearly schedule that's sanctioned by the association. That way, when we have a schedule, then people that aren't part of the association would have to work around those dates, because those are the dates that the association would honor. So we're hoping it would bring everybody on. But sometimes that's realistic, but that's all wishful thinking. I mean, but I think that we're going to do our best to keep everybody in the positive lane, and to make sure that we advocate for unity and love and respect among all the car clubs that exist in our valley.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's what you need to have. Like I said, I mean, it makes it better. So when there is a show, like as an association, everybody or a representative from every club can be there. I mean, if there's other shows going on, you want to send a couple of your members to those shows as well, if you can, but also send most of them to the association.
I think that's representation of that, because we go to different municipalities throughout the valley, and it's always about having a positive image across the board.
Yeah, you need that.
And everybody supporting. One of the ideas that I shared with the association is I love to do a 501c3, which is a nonprofit. And I got the idea years ago from the Palm Springs Cruise Association. So they're able to reach out to corporate America, get donations, and obviously that empowers the local car clubs to do bigger and better shows, But it helps in a lot of different ways. The umbrella for the insurance, so you guys already know, Primo, that you do a show and it's pretty expensive. For the insurance and all that. So I think with the association, we're able to help all these different car clubs that are part of it, just to continue to promote, good positive car shows across the valley.
Of course, yeah. Because then with the 501, you also get it opens up doors like for the city. Like instead of paying a certain amount of money, they give you a little bit of break, I guess, on things.
Yeah, well, I think it's just a big opportunity. There's so much money out there that we could tap into. And when you donate to a 501c3, these guys can write it off 100%.
Tax write off.
So people have. There's people out there with deep pockets, man, and it's just
look for someone to give it to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's for the community. It's not for any particular individual, but it's it's for the association and across the board. Obviously, it's going to impact the entire community in the valley. So
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
That'd be fun. I can't wait to actually do like an actual toy drive where we're able to give back, or even like a food drive. We're able to collect food or clothing, whatever it is, to give it to the needy, the less fortunate out there, because there's so many. And then me and my wife actually the other day, we're coming off the freeway off of Washington, and we saw that there was behind the Firestone, there was actually a church group out there, and they were giving out clothes. And my wife went through our closet the other day, and we have like a bunch of clothes, and they're not bad ones, they're all, pretty good shape, shoes and a bunch of stuff. So we're going to give it to them instead of giving it to the Goodwill, because the Goodwill are turn around and sell it. Where I think it's better if we give it to them so that they can go and give it to somebody who's going to use it and not charge them for it. I mean,
that's our feeling. We did our first toy drive this year, and it was interesting to watch the faces. Even the kids are that's
it's priceless.
It's priceless, man. I mean, looking at the expressions of the kids, man. But we did our first one, and it was just amazing to watch our membership, the Coachella Car Club.
Oh yeah,
that never participated in a toy drive, and
wow, really
watching the kids, light up, and everybody saying, "Hey, Ruben, we got to organize for next year, make it bigger and better." And that's that's what it's about. Yeah. I love to see the association, more participation. What we did is I have my nephew, which is a co-founder of the Coachella Car Club. He's an educator. He's a PhD candidate. Been a school teacher for a lot of years on the eastern part of the valley. So I reached out to him and asked him, "Hey, what do you have any particular sites that you recommend?" So he connected me with some of the people that he works with, because he runs this program called the Puentes program, and basically what they do is they mentor kids in high school, and they kind of follow them to basically make sure that they go on to pursue a higher education. So he's very involved in that. So the other guy he introduced me to is part of that Puentes program too. So he gave me this trailer park, and basically it has a reputation in our valley. Unfortunately, dilapidated trailer park that doesn't have a lot of means, but we're able to go out there and.
Is that towards Mecca?
It's in Mecca, actually. Okay. It's called St. Anthony's.
Okay.
And so we did our toy drive there.
Oh, nice.
He gave me the number to the people to contact. We contacted him, and then we rolled out there, man. It was beautiful.
Well, next time you got to invite me to that. I'd like to.
Yeah, no,
I definitely want to be.
We're gonna do. I want to make sure that hopefully this year we're up and going, and the association is part of it. And maybe we can do multiples, because I was talking to some of the potential members of the association on the west side. And hey, Ruben, it's not just about the east side, man. We have the same needs on the west side.
Everywhere. Yeah,
and we already know that the need is everywhere. The homeless thing, and the kids that really don't have a lot of resources. You would think they're next to Palm Springs and some of the affluent communities, man. But there's always those pockets of poverty in every city you go to across the country and across the world, I guess. Yep. But so we want to make sure that we can help a little bit and address those issues and the needs for some of the communities that aren't as fortunate, you know what I mean? So
it's going to happen. It's going to get there. We're going to get to that point. It's going to happen. That once we get everybody to get all the clubs to participate and actually commit to these things that we're talking about, because it's one thing to have people say, "I want to be a part of it," and actually be there and be a part of it, be involved with it. That's the people can say, I want to do this, I want to do that, but yet to actually be a part of it, actually be there to be involved is a different thing. But we're going to get it happen. We're going to make it happen.
Well, I think our car club, Coachella Car Club, is going to be there because I've seen the expression on our membership and the dialogue after the event, and these guys are just like, wow, this is amazing.
Oh, it is. It's a great feeling, because we did one a while back, a few years back, when we were in LA, and just look at the kids' faces, and then you see them light up. In fact, we did with Ground Descents Car Club out there, and they did a pretty big toy drive, and they gave all the kids, the kids the toys and all the the gift cards for the families, and man, it was amazing to see their faces just light up, the parents' faces light up. I mean, it's no better feeling than to give back to somebody like that, especially the kids. I mean, kids are just amazing.
I think that's important, man. It's every human being finds his own.
What's up, Daryl? How you doing? Also, Mike, Mr. Fuentes, how you doing, sir? Good, because I'll shout out.
Find a little spot in the heart, man, just to give back. I mean, it's so hard feeling, and I don't care what it is. I mean, it's just anything that there's so many different causes out there.
Oh yeah.
That people could get involved in, but to do a public service and just to give back and donate to a nonprofit is incredible. We also founded a nonprofit organization in Coachella called Culturas Music, and my lady runs it.
Oh, that's Synergy Fest.
Yeah. So we did the big mural project in Coachella, which is over 1,000 feet long. It's, to our knowledge, it's the longest Chicano historical timeline mural in the country. There's been some other ones built by Judy Baca. She's a professor at UCLA. the Great Wall in LA, but it's not it's like a world theme mural.
Yeah.
Ours is specifically Chicano historical timeline. So we start from the pre-Columbian to the Conquest, and then transition into Mexican history, and then towards the end we do into Chicano history. We do
I've seen the wall, and it's actually pretty cool because it's a huge wall. It's a long wall. It's on Shady Lane, right?
Yeah. So we have a little depiction of the Zoot Suit era. We also have Chavez Ravine and Chicano movement, the Vietnam. Chicanos that were involved in Vietnam. We lost a few in Coachella. They were part of that that effort too, man, in Vietnam. But so yeah, that's we do a lot of stuff with. We have one coming up the end of the month. We do Synergy, which was an unveiling of the mural when we finished it. It was
nice.
It was like a 3-year, 4-year project because we basically did it all grassroots. We didn't pay the artists. The city bought the paint, and me and my lady ran the whole thing. We were out there in the middle of the night, basically.
That was a lot of work.
Yeah, working around the schedule of all the artists, and I rigged up a little trailer with ladders and lights and extension cords.
Nice.
So if we had to work at night, and we did a lot of stuff in the summertime.
Wow.
So you already know in the summertime it's really unbearable.
Nobody wants to know. How do you do things in the summer out here? Nobody wants to do anything out here.
No, so we were set up at night and basically accommodated the artists, and we just met so many amazing artists.
Wow.
Worked with probably over 100 artists and helpers, and
over 100 artists were on that wall.
Well, I mean, there was a couple of lead artists, and then they had the volunteers.
Oh, okay.
So there's about, I think, 24 panels.
Oh, wow.
And so you do the math, and it was way over more than 100 people.
A lot of people. Yeah.
That actually donated time and went out there and tried to get the murals done. But yeah, it was real interesting. But
yeah, if you guys ever seen that wall, you guys can Google it. It's on Shady Lane.
It's called the Shady Lane mural wall, and it was interesting because I don't think we really got the recognition from our elected and our leadership the way I think we should have. And it was interesting because we invited this gentleman by the name of Ed Fuentes. He was actually the art critic for LA Times.
Really?
And he came out and visited us, and he said, "Ruben, what's going on here, man? These guys should be all over this wall."
Yeah, you would think.
Promoting it. He was actually part of a program called Artbound with PBS, and he's just a super nice guy. Unfortunately, we lost Ed a few years ago, and but he was, we had talked, and he said, "Ruben, I want to do follow-up stories and continue to promote this mural." But out of that came a lot of cool stuff because we have that whole corridor, which is Avenue 52 all the way to First Street, and been advocating to create an art walk in that whole area. So basically, just bringing in sculptures and statues and more murals.
Yeah.
And we the downtown areas. We got a bunch of new murals called the Coachella Walls, but the Shady Lane mural, and then we have some other plans to eventually build a Chicano art gallery.
Oh, nice! That'd be real cool.
And
really cool.
Just continue to advocate for music and art, and that's
so you is it you or your wife that actually is into the art scene? Like
both of us. Yeah, we both started Culturas.
Oh, okay.
We're co-founders of Culturas Music and Art. That's a 501c3. That's a nonprofit.
Okay, so I thought that was. See, I thought that was actually like a corporate type event.
No.
We actually founded it.
We founded it, and we don't make no money on the event. We just promote it. It's basically a platform for our local musicians and artists. So there's been some amazing artists that have come out of Synergy Music and Art Festival.
Nice.
And basically, we don't charge the artists to set up. We charge the vendors. We have the car show.
Yeah.
I run the car show part of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we have vendors.
Always fun.
We make a little money on the vendors, food vendors. But the artists, we try not to charge them. We used to have two big stages. We scaled it down to one big stage that has all the screens and all that.
Yeah, because I remember last time, I remember the first one you guys did back in 2016, 2017, I think it was.
Yeah. So it's basically just to advocate for Chicano art and music. And, we've had people from all over Southern California. We mostly try to empower our local Coachella Valley. We've had people across the valley that have performed and, made start off their careers there. There's people that
you never know.
have done very well, in terms of, music and art. So we've been the platform, basically. We got a lot of
that show's grown too. It's really huge.
It has. It's getting bigger, it seems, every year.
Yeah.
But part of that idea too, we have a cultural center that we're putting together in Coachella. So we got a little under an acre from the city of Coachella. It's in the downtown area too.
They donated to you guys, or?
Yeah. Well, they gave us a 20-year lease. I'm trying to make sure that we get a 100-year lease because
Wow.
I'm donating my time as a contractor to put this whole thing together. And
Nice.
when I'm gone, I want to make sure that stays as a centro cultural.
Yeah.
It's a cultural center where, you can create. And out of the cultural center, we have a recording studio, so people can go in there and record music. We have a little Chicano library that has documentaries, all Chicano related,
Nice.
Chicanas that have written books, basically then inspire our community, which is basically 98%, Chicano.
Wow.
So that'll be a spot. We'll have some laptops. Kids could go in there, do a little research, or we're doing a
cool.
term paper or whatever. We're adding a couple of restrooms, all ADA compliance, and then we're on the end on the right hand side. We're doing a big community stage for all the garage bands can share the space.
Oh, cool. That'd be nice.
And then on the opposite end, that's our first phase. The second phase is a ceramic center, a wood shop, a welding shop. That's our second phase. The third phase is a dance studio, a culinary kitchen, and a big gallery with a coffee shop, and then some administrative buildings. So the idea is to have the kids run the coffee shop and basically empower our kids, in the community, or even our seniors, because the ideas that we shared is not only just for the youth, but to try to bring everybody together.
Right.
We have a lot of local schools there, so I love to see the senior center collaborating with the elementary schools, storytelling, all that cool stuff, man.
That'd be kind of cool.
Junior high school, and obviously our college kids. But yeah, so a lot of amazing stuff, a lot of interesting stuff, but to get that stuff going, our first phase is up and going right now. I just stepped down as the chairman of the planning commission for the city of Coachella.
Oh, wow.
I'm the vice chair now, but we have a lot of developers that come in and out of our city, and I just advocate that that they're going to come and develop in our city, that they're responsible, and that they give back a little bit to our community. Whatever it is, whatever nonprofit of choice. I had one of the developers that reached out to me recently, and they want to help on the cultural center. So we're in the middle of that. So I'm hoping that they help, and
nice.
We got $100,000 from our supervisor. So we got a little bit of seed money to get started. It's going to be a multi-million-dollar project by the time we're done, because we have like on the second and third phase, we have this big awning. So we're going to utilize the space but the idea is to actually knock down the second phase and build new construction, so it has air conditioning and all the
upgrades,
all the amenities, because of our harsh, elements and environment here in Coachella.
Yeah, it's getting worse. I mean, the heat is just horrible.
Yeah, no, it's tough, but I think we're going to utilize the space the way it is for now.
Nice.
So we're able to raise the money that we need to.
We've got to do some fundraisers for that. Got to make some fundraisers happen.
So there's a lot of cool stuff that comes out of Culturas, music and art. My lady does an event called Women Rising. It's an all-women event. It's basically to empower all women. They have speakers. I mean, everybody that's part of that group, the Women Rising, is all young Chicanas, amazing women, even older ladies. This year we did it at one of the casinos. We got invited to this Rebozo festival. Rebozo is a scarf. It's a traditional scarf that the different regions of Mexico wear, and based on the color and the way they wear it, it kind of gives you a depiction of the woman single. It has a lot of historical significance, but it goes way back to the Corona, to the Aztecs.
Oh, dang.
In the 1500s, you know what I mean?
It's interesting. Yeah, you got to tell me some more about that one.
Yeah, so that one, we got invited to one in Camarillo, in Oxnard area, Ventura County. So we have some friends. My friend Dan Martinez was the city clerk for the city of Oxnard. His wife Nina Duarte, amazing people too. They just do so much stuff with the community. They invited us 2 years ago to the Rebozo Festival. We went, and this thing is huge. I think they're celebrating where we went the 19th annual.
Wow, it's a long time.
So it's they got everybody engaged, all the elected, and it's a beautiful event, basically promoting culture and the Rebozo, the significance of the Rebozo. So basically, when Nina and Dan invited us, was basically to as a component to look at something to raise money for the cultural center. So we went and we loved it, and then my lady started organizing right away. And they were able to put together one this year, which was the first annual, and it was part of the Women Rising, but with the Roboso Festival as part of the Women Rising event.
That's cool.
And it was an amazing event. It was sold out.
Wow.
And
that was the first one.
That was the first one, sold out. Everything was just, but it was beautiful. They had mariachis, and it was just a beautiful culture. They had some keynote speakers, amazing women, all women again. But so they had some little forms you fill out of what they liked about it, didn't like, and everything they got back. There was, I think, about over 100 that people filled out, and everything was just positive and basically saying, "Hey, you're out of room here. You have a bigger venue."
Yeah.
And this is a big space. This was at the Spotlight 29 Casino.
Okay, yeah.
So I think we're out of room for that one. So we got to go to the next step. And I think the next one will continue to, we didn't make any money this year, but it was actually, took care of all the expenses.
Yeah.
And
as long as you didn't lose money, you're good.
Yeah. And it was, you could give little props to ACNA, is the Alliance for California Traditional Arts. It's a statewide organization that do some amazing stuff. Basically, is the preservation of culture.
Right.
So we've been working with ACTA for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, but we have a state director. So they actually funded, getting some seed money for the festival too. So that was real helpful to put it together, because it's always, everybody knows they're involved in public service, so the money issue.
Yeah, it's always
raising the money. So we were fortunate, and I think next year there's going to be some people that obviously reach out and say they want to be part of it and contribute, But
it's like you do something good, something positive, and people will see that and they want to be part of it. It's like I said, go back to the coalition. People will see how positive it is and how good you're doing, and they're going to want to be part of it. It's just it's the way it works.
Yeah, we just got to continue to build the coalitions, man, and everybody on the positive lane, and just continue to advocate for the community in a good way. And I mean, I think that when you do that, people are going to contribute and they're going to want to be part of it.
Of course,
there's too much negativity on our planet, man. So we got to try to do.
Yeah, we got to bring all that positivity back.
The positivity back, man, and just try to engage everybody, man. And
it'll happen. Like I said, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. I mean, just time and the consistency. Consistent with the meetings, consistent with everything we're doing, and like I said, get that calendar of events going. Once we get that kind of built to the platform, then we can move on from there.
Yeah, but the city, I got to give credit to the city of Coachella too, because they've been very helpful. Like all the events we do, we have coming up one, I think, on sometime during the end of this month, downtown the city of Coachella. It's called Arte en el Barrio. We've done multiple. We did COVID. We did one during COVID. I have some property downtown, so we did it on the property that I own, and so that turned out real nice. Everybody wearing masks, but we're just trying to keep people active and making sure nobody got sick, and they had the mask and all the stuff to
sanitize everything.
Sanitize.
That'll work.
But everybody was like, "Yeah, we've got to do something." So they're always reaching out to us. But yeah, so we do Arte en el Barrio. We have on schedule for this month, and we're gonna do a little car show in the front.
Nice.
Nothing big, just small. But they'll have vendors, they'll have music, and some speakers and all that. But we just continue to
let me know when you do these things. I would be there.
No, I want to be part of the event. So
of course, always, anytime. I mean, I'm there. I mean, I'm there.
Thank you so much, Primo. You've been very helpful, and you're going to hopefully be part of the leadership of the association.
Of course, yeah. Whatever. Like I said, I want to be part of something that's positive, and this is, like I said, to me, it's a very positive thing to have this coalition or the association, because, like I said, we need to have that structured. We need to have a say in other things that go on, like like the low riding thing, the the cruising thing.
Yeah.
In LA, they made it a law that it's not a crime anymore. But yet in LA, when you go cruise Whittier Boulevard, they're shutting it down. They're giving you tickets. They're pulling you over. I had a friend of mine from Orange County just the other day. He was driving his car, just not even cruising, just driving from home to work, and he got pulled over and they towed his car because it had two small tires. He had altered
those are conversations that need to be brought to the attention of elected across the state, because obviously it was supported by our state assembly, which everybody has a representative in the district, man. So those conversations need to get started right away.
Yeah, and as a coalition, as an association, we can have a bigger voice.
Exactly,
and that's what we need to get here, is get that association.
That's what's important, because these associations are basically advocating and promoting all the positive stuff for the low-end community.
Yeah, we need to have that voice in there.
Yeah.
And make things happen.
Yeah, I think that's important that some of the elected know. I have a good, I know a lot of the elected across the state too, friends of mine, senators, assemblymen. So we got to I'm going to make sure I run them by them too, you know what I mean? But
make that phone call.
Yeah, you got to make the phone call. Yeah, our local guy here, our assemblyman was actually our city mayor, Eduardo Garcia. And he's created an incredible legacy across the state. Just some amazing stuff. I think he's brought over, so he represents the whole Coachella Valley and Pure Valley out to the Mexican border.
Wow.
But he's done some amazing stuff. Just resources he's brought to the district. I think over $2 billion over the course of, I think he's got 8 years there. And then he did some amazing stuff as a mayor of Coachella. So he's an amazing representative, and I wish they were all like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the way it is. That's politics. They get their heads twisted a little bit. And they get influenced by certain things. So, they forget where they come from, so to speak. And,
this guy's been grounded, and he's done some amazing stuff. So
it's good to have something like that.
Yeah. So we're gonna lose him, but actually, one of my neighbors across the street, Joey Acuna, is actually a school board member. He's taken his seat.
Well, that'll work.
He's been endorsed by all of us, so we're hoping that he's our next assemblyman.
Do something
But
good.
Joey has an amazing story too, a real advocate for the kids. He's been on the school board for many years, and I'm hoping that he does. I don't know if he'll do just as good as Eddie, but hopefully he gets close. He's going to be successful.
He will. With your help and everybody else help, he just support. Yeah, he's got.
No, Joey's a good guy too, man. So we have high expectations for him. He won the primary, so he'll be challenging the Republican opponent in November, man. So we're hoping that he wins. I'm sure he will.
He'll do well. Yeah, he'll do well. With your support and all the help you're gonna bring him, he'll do well. He'll do well. Yeah. And he'll go up there and he'll represent you and take care of what you asked for and do them little favors.
I tell all these guys, the elected, just do the work of the people, man. That's it. They're gonna be cool with me.
Right? Exactly.
You can't go wrong when you do that. You know what I mean? Just do the work of the people. It's important, man. You gotta engage, and whatever comes out of your mouth, you know what I mean? You gotta make a commitment and try to fulfill those commitments. Cause,
they put you there.
Yeah, because the people talk all this, and then when they get there, they forget.
That's like I told you just a minute ago. They get higher, and then once they get to that certain level, they forget where they come from. They forget who they knew, and they look at
we had a few of those too, but I try to go a different direction and say when it's re-election time that we gotta obviously we gotta do But,
you can't forget.
No, you gotta make sure you're engaged and you're doing your best efforts. To make sure you're creating resources. For your district across the board.
You got to make it happen. You promise certain things, you got to deliver on it.
That's right.
And the main thing, like you said, is to give back to the community that they come from and represent their people and represent them right. And,
that's right.
Make the right calls. And
that's the way it's got to be. It should always be that way.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about just Coachella or the Valley. I'm talking about across the state, across the country, because of all the craziness going around.
Oh yeah, there's so much. There's so much of that.
It's draining, man. But I can't take too much of it. I gotta go.
It's a lot going on. Lot to take in from all this craziness going out there, like the college protesting is going on, all that craziness out there. And like last night, I was working in here and I was watching the news. At 1:30 in the morning, my phone went off and I was alert. And I guess in UCLA, the cops went in there and started tearing things down, and it became this big old mess. So I didn't go into bed till like almost 3 o'clock. So I was watching the news, and it's like, man, I just got involved. Like, whoa, it's just watching this craziness that was happening out there. It's amazing, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah, but it's tough, man. When we have the leadership promoting that kind of madness, man, it's gonna have a snowball effect across the world.
That's what happens. All it takes. Like I said, again, going back to the coalition again. If you start something good, positive, people want to be part of that. If you start something bad and negative, people are going to be part of that. And it's just so. But if you do some positive, it's going to be the right thing, and people are going to want to be a part of that, and they'll gravitate to it. Like
I think what's important is that people, even with small conversations, get inspired, and do it in their community. It's nothing that's out of the planet, man. It's something that's all tangible and doable, man. So it's just a matter of getting involved in public service and putting your 2 cents in. You know what I mean? And it starts at a young age, I think. You plant the seed, and then the flower starts blossoming, you know.
Yeah, like with you, like you started really young, and look at you now. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not that old, but you're still got
Yeah,
that
well,
same
I'm gonna
mentality,
keep-
that same positivity.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue to do that till I leave the planet, man. But I just that's my MO, man. I gotta make sure that we just do what I can, man, to make it a better place.
Oh, you're
To
doing it. You're
live for
doing it here in the
everybody,
valley.
man.
You're
Yeah.
doing it here in the valley for sure, man. And like I said, he does mentorships also as well. So dude, tell us a bit about that. How you got started with mentoring, and who you
Well,
helped
you know,
out,
just
who
growing up in
changed?
the neighborhood, brother. You know, I mean, you live in a, you have certain experience at a young age, and I mean, my experience was I dropped out of the madness at a very young age. You know what I mean? And when I got exposed to college, and I kind of changed the perspective and gave me more work perspective. It wasn't just about the neighborhood, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so, you know, ever since then, I just started, you know, getting involved in positive stuff. At a real young age, too, I organized this event, you know, stop, you know, gang warfare. You
Mhm.
know, we worked with a couple of people that there was a guy by the name of Carlos Mayo that worked with an outfit in Indio.
Mhm.
He was actually blind, legally blind.
Oh wow.
And the story was that he worked for one of the institutions in LA, you know, I think it was Boy Republican, where it was like a jail facility, and he got kicked on the side of the head during a breakthrough fight. He lost his eyesight, but he never lost the passion of advocating and helping kids. So I connected with him back in the early '80s. So we organized a few events, you know. But my thing is with the kids, you know what I mean? I see all the madness, and I, you know, it's heartbreaking, you know, and I want to make sure that I'm able to influence kids. And I've talked to probably hundreds and probably thousands of kids over the course of my lifetime, man. But I'm always trying to, you know, promote, you know, good positive stuff. Obviously, you know, my wish and would be to all these kids embrace, you know, higher education. I'm a real advocate of higher education. I had a good friend of mine by the name of Mr. Huerta. He was actually Cesar Chavez's right-hand man during the movement in Coachella. He was originally from East LA, Ray Huerta, older cat. And when he left the U of W, back then you would get paid $5 a week.
Jeez. Wow.
They paid room and board, and I mean that was your pay scale. Even the attorneys were getting paid that.
Wow.
And
It's hard to fathom like that.
so once he left the U of W, he basically went and finished his education, and he got a teaching credential, but his area was vocational training. So he was always telling me, Ruben, come on, man, come here, we gotta help. We gotta do this vocational training. And I always downplayed that because my mindset was always, no, we gotta have these kids reach for the stars, man.
Right.
We gotta make sure that we could send every kid to college, man, and eventually we'll come back to the communities and be an intricate part of a community and a positive force. But you know, in retrospect now, Ray was one of my mentors too. He was just an amazing guy.
Nice.
But I just look back and I said, man, I should have helped Ray out back then with vocational training, because the reality is, and that's realistic, man, is just the vocational training is something that the kids can really benefit from too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I would love to see all the kids go. But I mean, you look at some of the vocational trainings, you know, me being in the construction business, some of the kids that I know, a lot of the kids have actually finished college. And then I have some of the kids that are working in the trades as electricians, you know, as carpenters, as plumbers, and some of these kids are making more money than the kids that are actually graduating from college. So that's a reality. And I think if the kids, you know, you could get trained and where, you know, you have a profession and you're able to basically, you know, create a career out of vocational training. I think that's something that we have to continue to support our community and our kids to pursue that. But you know, it's we have a shortage of skilled labor, I think, in the country, across the country. So we're hoping with the cultural center that we're able to kind of push that narrative too, and continue to advocate for, you know, like welding and, you know, some of the trades that are important.
Like all the stuff they used to teach in the school, they don't teach.
Yeah, they don't teach anymore.
Like
unfortunately,
auto mechanics, all that good stuff.
Yeah, no, I've had conversations, numerous conversations with a lot of friends, and you know, they saying that's terrible. You know,
yeah. And that's why I think a lot of kids, when they get out of school, they don't pursue anything because they don't know, they've never been taught that, and they don't want to get their hands dirty because they figure, why get my hands dirty when I can read and do something off like the internet? Or a lot of these kids, you know, you look at them, they're all about the internet. They're all about social media. They're all about, everything but hands-on work.
Yeah, I was talking at dinner with a friend of mine in Palm Desert the other day. She runs, she's one of the people that run the museum in Indio. They're friends of ours. And, there was another gentleman from Coachella too.
Nice.
I don't know him real well, but I know his wife better than him, but real nice people. And we were talking, and he's a car builder.
Car builder?
Yeah, he's done a bunch of cars. And I said, hey, David, who did these cars? He had a picture of all the cars he built. It was probably 9 or 12 cars that he built. And this guy does a bunch of custom stuff on it, welding and fabricating and all that. I said, who did these? He goes, Ruben, I built all these cars. I said, what? And then he told me the story about when he started. Was in high school at CV High School, Coachella High School, and he had a welding class, and that's how he learned how to weld.
Yeah.
But so I think those services should be provided to our kids right now, man. But I don't know what's going on with some of these school districts. I know Coachella had talked about it, but I don't think they
brought it back yet.
They haven't moved on it, man. So.
I don't think there's many schools that do that, that offer any of that anymore. I mean, I haven't heard of any.
Well, I planned the idea already. Maybe it's in the future, but we're talking about building a new high school.
Oh, really?
But, at CV High School, we had a bond, and it failed by a little bit. I think CV High School was built it's probably one of the oldest high school in the Coachella Valley, built in the early 1900s.
Wow.
But
been around.
So we're overdue on building a new facility. So I planned the idea already that when we build that new facility, maybe the old high school could become an adult ed school and a vocational training. So maybe the old vocational training classes that we had, we can resurrect them and bring them back.
Yeah, that would definitely be a good thing.
Yeah, for the community at large. But they can still utilize the space because they go to new high school. I think they have 80 acres, so there's still enough room to build a new high school and, then keep the old high school.
And then they just redo the football field there?
Yeah, they've done some improvements, but it's all cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
But I think structurally, they just need to start from square one and build a new facility. Indio's a lot newer than Coachella. And they've already redid theirs. There was a school board member that actually didn't support it, the bond.
Wow.
And it failed by very little. And then he comes to me and he tells me, Ruben, we gotta support a bond. I think didn't you oppose the one that just
so now you want to be
now he's talking about we gotta build a high school, we gotta pass the bond. He was actually opposed to it. Maybe he would have supported it. We'd already had some of the preliminary stuff building and the bond in place, but it's a process, so I'm hoping that real soon we're able to achieve that, get the bond going.
Yeah, it'll happen.
And build a nice high school. The one in the East Valley is Desert Mirage. That's where my nephew teaches.
That's the one in
Thermal.
So is that the one by Thermal?
Yeah. That's in I think it's in
64, 62 or something like that.
Yeah, 64. Yeah. But anyway, there's 3 schools there. There's an elementary. Okay. There's La Palomita, El Toro, and then also a Desert Mirage. So they're elementary, junior high school, and a high school. So that's a fairly new facility.
I went there a couple years back. They had was it Old Memories or Oldies had a car show out there a couple years back.
Oldies.
Oldies, yeah, I went there that show.
Yeah, I was at the show for a little bit, but they put it together.
Yeah, I remember that. I went there. That's after my accident. I went out there and I was in my wheelchair. And, I remember that show. It was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
First time I knew they had a college out there. My sister lived not too far from there.
Yeah.
62 in Tyler, so I didn't know there was a school. I was like, where are we going? But I told my sister, I was like, oh dang, but it's way out there. I was a school out here, but then I thought Mecca's right down the street, so that.
Well, the valley's growing, man. The valley's growing, and we have probably build a few more. I know they have one. The bond's already in place, and they're building one on South Sea.
Wow.
So.
Hey, nothing out in South Sea.
Yeah.
There's nothing out there.
Well, there is because there's a bunch of kids.
Oh man, yeah. Well, yeah. But we went out to my wife to start taking a drive, and there's nothing out there. I'm like, what happens if you get into? I didn't see no hospital. I didn't see no police station. I mean, I'm sure they're there, but it's just like, where is it all at? I mean, there's nothing out there.
Well, what's interesting is that once you pass Travertine, which is like an 80, and then it converts over to Imperial Valley. So most of the South Sea is actually part of Imperial Valley jurisdiction.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we only have a little bit of on the north side is the Riverside County.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was all Riverside County over there.
No, it's most of it is in Imperial Valley. So that's where the big lithium play right now. It's in Nyland. So everybody's trying to grab and pick and choose. The nonprofits are involved. the unions are obviously in the middle of the forefront of all the lithium play.
Yeah.
But that seems that it's it's going to happen. It's there's a big lithium deposit in that area, so it's going to be a little while. But I think once it gets going, hopefully it'll provide resources. I talked to the assemblyman, and I told him one of the ideal scenarios would be to set up an assessment out of the lithium play, because it would be important for the restoration of the South Sea, because that thing it's been a toxic
it's been through a lot.
facility. We used to go there when we were kids and fish there, and there was a bunch of different type of fish, and we'd go swimming, but you can't get in it now.
No, you can't do anything over there now.
What it is, you have a steel piece of, it's 37 by 17 miles long.
Wow.
And basically it's a septic system for all the ranchers in the Coachella Valley, because we have a leach system that goes into the whitewater wash, and the Salton Sea is the lowest part of the valley. So everything drains into that. It's a still piece of water. There's no circulation. So if you look at the course of 100 years of insecticides, pesticides, herbicides, all these chemicals have been deposited into the Salton Sea, these poor little animals don't have a chance.
No, not at all.
So that's where we're at now. But there's some efforts to restore it. I think if the lithium comes into play, that there should be an assessment to because it's going to generate one day, millions and maybe billions of dollars.
Oh, heck yeah.
So
no doubt.
If there's a play for an assessment out of that whole effort to be able to put into the restoration of South Sea, I think that would be a major play.
Yeah, it'd be good.
We got money from the state, but it's a drop in the bucket to the work that needs to be done there at the South Sea.
It'll happen. Like I said, everything's going to get there. Everything's going to come out the way it's supposed to be. I mean, just got to keep pushing people to make those decisions and make them right.
So we're going from low-ride all the way to the South Sea.
Hey, we're able to go anywhere. We can do anything we want. Now, this is a good show. We're here to talk about everything because it all matters. I mean, it's all part of Coachella Valley, so it all matters because that's all that seems to be brought up. I mean, like you said, you got to get these people that are in the politics, get them out there and to make the right decisions for the people. We get you there to do the job right. And remember, hey, this is what needs to be done. You know what needs to be done. Go get it done.
Yeah.
You're in office now, so.
Yeah, so I think that we do have some of the older car clubs. I think Latino Classics out of India they started in about 79. That's one of the older car clubs. We have the Cab Drifters started in 70, and then we've had so many different car clubs that have actually started. The Premiers, were out of India. We had members in Coachella. We had the Latinos, which a lot of the homies I grew up with.
They still exist?
No, they're not around no more. The Persuasions, which Big Frank Duran with the City Cruisers, he was part of it. Another guy, Denini Cadenas, the Carpio brothers, Tony, Ruben, and Johnny were real active with the Persuasions. All nice guys that I grew up with in the 70s. But so a lot of those car clubs they're all gone by the wayside, unfortunately, man. But one dies and then a couple more are born. So exactly. We have quite a few.
Exactly.
And we have and before it was predominantly the Eastern Valley. Now we have active Desert Hot Springs. You have Game Over. We have all these other clubs in Cathedral City and Palm Springs, and then everything in between. So that's I think the association would be very helpful, man.
Like I said, we need to get that done. It's got to happen. You got to have that togetherness and that unity because it's needed here in the valley.
Yeah. So ultimately, it's unity and love and respect, man. We all have to continue to promote and making sure, because I think if you're a little older, you got to see the movement back in the 70s and even part of the 80s, which was not fun to go to the car shows, man. But I'm glad all that's behind us, and it's basically a movement not only in Coachella or in California, but it's something that has basically resonated across the Southwest, New Mexico, Texas and Arizona,
that's huge
Colorado,
out there. Huge
Utah, and it's amazing, that we have a big low-rider community, and actually across the country. And now in the UK and a lot of the foreign countries,
and everywhere.
Mexico has
China.
Mexico has a pretty cool little movement.
You're right in Tijuana. Mexicali, they all got it.
Yeah,
right
but
there.
even in Inland in Mexico, I
Nice.
seen a car show in Guanajuato, man. So
Really?
I said, wow, this is pretty cool.
Wow, I know they had one out there.
Yeah, no, they're becoming a lot more active,
Nice.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
that's the movement is here to stay, man.
No, it ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere at all. I
Nowhere.
mean, they can pull you over, give you tickets, but it's still going to be here.
Yeah.
But it's just got to be. It's got to be positive. It's got to be to unity. You got to be unified and got to be positive about everything, and just have everybody want to help each other and just help support each other. And it's the only way it's going to continue to be better. And all this negative stuff, like the fights happen, because I guess there was a fight a couple weeks ago on Whittier Boulevard. There's a big thing happened out there, and I guess small things happen in little shows.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the other day, there was a video put out there that somebody was banging somebody's windows. I guess they were hopping or whatever, and the guy got mad and started banging out the other guy's windows. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's like it puts that. It gives us that negativity that we don't need.
Yeah, no, we got to downplay those situations because that happens at the rod rides, hot rods. People have a little too much to drink, but we got to just make sure that we try to. And I think the association is part of it because, me as the president of the Coachella Car Club, I'm really ultimately responsible for my guys.
Yep.
And we don't have too many rules. We're not a conventional car club. And that's why probably we have the membership we have. Everybody wants to be part of the Coachella Car Club. Our structure is basically, and we have 3 rules, man. And I tell them, first of all, I don't want no drug dealing from any of our members. I don't want no active gang member.
Nope.
And third, I want you to respect yourself, all the people in our car club, the community, and every other car club in the valley, man. So, it's something that's basic. We don't have, mandatory. We don't have fines. We don't have,
no paddle,
no paddle, none of that kind of stuff. I told him, man, look, man, we're all grown men, and if we can't do this, you can't be part of, what I'm asking for. Then, you got to find another club, man. But I want to make sure that we set up an example for the community. And that it's always about being positive and contributing back to our community and the whole valley, across the valley.
Yeah, because everywhere you go and you're wearing that shirt that has your club name on it, and people see whatever actions you do, negative or positive, they're going to see that.
It's
not just your club; it's going to affect everybody because it's a whole. Because they say that's a lowrider thing, and I'm just like, for example, like the church here. We tried to do a show here at this church right here on Southwest, and so I approached them and I made my pitch, and the guy says, we don't like hoppers, we don't like cars on the grass because you guys leak a lot of oil. Like, well, you guys have hot rod shows here, but yet you won't allow us. They said, well, you guys bring dogs. We're not bringing no dogs. We're bringing cars. And they're very negative towards the idea. But yet, if it's another type of car,
they have a show.
Such a bad reputation.
They have a show there every year. Dr. George.
No, that's here at the tennis garden.
At the tennis garden.
Yeah.
Oh, this was at the church.
Yeah, the church right next door.
Well, they're next door to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're two separate places, but they also have a show every year.
Yeah, they have a show there. So
yeah, so like I said, it's just when I approach them with that idea.
It's just talking to the leadership, and I think with the association, it brings a little more muscle and credibility there because you're not just one car club, you're multiple car clubs.
Yeah.
They're doing positive things. And my point earlier.
See that though.
Yeah, my point earlier with being the president of the Coachella Car Club is basically I have a responsibility too for my membership, and I think that everybody that hopefully is part of the association will it's going to take responsibility for their members.
Of course, absolutely, yeah.
And if there's a problem, I think we're all grown men. We could sit down and have dialogue and make sure that we continue to have.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Yeah, it's just talking most of the time.
That's all it is. I mean, because you can. It's hard to say it. You may have a problem with somebody, or somebody have a problem with somebody else in the club, and then it's like it becomes like a snowball effect where everybody wants to have that same problem with that one person because that one person does. But it's not like that. You gotta squash your problems. You gotta put it aside and remember, hey, I'm a man. I'm a grown man. Let's talk. Let's discuss this. Let's put the issue, whatever it is, on the table. Let's work it out so we're both on the same page. We can, you put this aside, move on. And you got to do that with everybody. And you got to have just that unity, and that's what the association can bring.
Yeah, I think ultimately, we have to, as a president, and I'm reaching out to all the presidents from all the different car clubs. It's just taking responsibility. So one of the things too is you already know when they add alcohol to to some of these events, man. It kinds of changes the narrative, man. But if you're gonna drink and pistear, hey, you know what? That's good. That's all good too, man. But you gotta be responsible, man. You're a grown man already, and out there acting like a bunch of youngsters, man. It's not cool, you know what I mean? But
no.
They gotta step up to the plate and say, you know what, Simone, I'm gonna drink, but I'm gonna be
Yeah,
I'm gonna be responsible.
yeah, you got to be. I
Gotta
mean,
behave, man.
yeah, you got to behave. That's the main thing. You got to behave. You got to have fun, and not
No,
take it
it's
too
about
far.
it's cool, man. I think we have a pretty nice, a beautiful community with the lowriders, and
Oh yeah, it's a great one out here.
I have a lot of good relationships with a lot of the members from all the different clubs, man.
Oh
So,
yeah. That's how much Manuel Duran. Yeah, that's right. It's in our DNA for sure. But we got to teach our kids that too. Got to pass it on. It's not just in the DNA. Sometimes got to show the kids, hey, this is what we do, and this is our lifestyle, and let them continue it because we're not, like you said before, we're all not going to be here for long, and we got to keep this culture alive. And a lot of kids nowadays, like I said, they don't know our history, they don't know the culture like they're supposed to. They don't get taught it in school anymore. They don't have a lot of stuff that we used to have. So it's slowly kind of not being faded out, but it's just like they're not seeing it. Like unless you're in the unless you're in a club or have a family members in the club, you really don't get to see that. You just, live what we live as being lowriding community.
Yeah, there should be a major separation between the cliques and the different gangs out there, and we have them in every community, which is unfortunate. But but it goes way back to the 30s and 40s. Even like I think I talked to you about earlier, but during the Zoot Suit era, where basically our community created its own identity.
Yeah.
So when during the Zoot Suit era, people are familiar with it. I've now did a little research. Pretty interesting, but it was basically the subculture within our own culture, and basically the Chicanos, and at that time period, were caught between two cultures.
Yep.
They were actually the American culture and the Mexican culture, because when you would go to Mexico, they'll call you a pocho.
Yep.
You go to the United States, they didn't accept us, so we basically created our own identity, our way of dressing, which was a Zoot Suit, and our own dialogue, which was Caló. Caló is it's called Venga del Barrio. I was talking about earlier, but I had a professor at San Diego State that actually wrote the second edition, and he actually put my name on the front of the book.
Nice.
It says that was a Coachella, but it's a dictionary, and basically it's an interpretation of every single word.
Really? I gotta get that.
Yeah, and it goes from Spanish, to English, and then to Caló. But Caló is called Caló Luenga, C-A-L-O, Luenga del Barrio. It's a Pachuco dialogue.
Yeah.
The first one was written by professor out of Fullerton, Fuentes, and then my professor, Dr. Roberto Cerros, wrote the second edition. But he was a great guy. He was actually from Chiques, from Oxnard.
Really?
And he was just a cool cat, man. I was kind of a fish out of water.
Yeah.
When I started college, and he kind of embraced me, and he used to tell me, "Hey, Ruben, let's go get something to eat, man." And off campus, and I said, "Man, I'm so broke, I can't pay attention, man." He said, "I'm asking you for money. Let's go, man." And he had like a '73 Impala.
Nice.
And he used to go off campus, and he was just had some great stories. He was a veteran during the Korean conflict.
Wow.
But a super cool kid, and it was interesting because I had some friends in Oxnard, and I didn't think they would know him, but I asked around, and everybody knew the Cerros family in Oxnard. But I was fortunate to have him as a professor, and and I just really admired the guy because he was just super cool, what I mean, and really accepted me, and it made me feel at home, and comfort zone at the university, what I mean, when I got there, what I mean, but it was real cool. A nice guy, real impact on him.
That sounds like a lot like you, man. I mean, you said you go back to you again, like I said, you mentor a lot of people, you do a lot of good things in the community, you and your wife. I mean, you guys are very positive, and
so we got to continue to promote that. I think when you're influenced by certain people, man, you're going to continue the narrative and try to do what we can, man, to make it a better world for everybody.
Yep, exactly. See, I love the attitude, man. I gotta love the vision here this man has. I mean, it's just great. It's inspiring. It's motivational. And if you guys ever get a chance, check out the books he's talking about. We'll get that information. We'll put it up on our website, and we'll put it on our Instagram and Facebook pages, so you guys can do some reading on that and learn some history of our Chicano history here, man. Because this man here has got a lot more to say. Our show is almost over, but we're gonna have him come back on again and do this again because he's got a lot more stories. We didn't even touch on any of the topics we wanted to talk on today.
We can talk. I don't know how much more time do we have.
If my man let me know right now. I think he'll let me know. Mr. Fuentes, how much more time we got, boss?
Crazy stuff. You're good if you need to go a little longer. If you want to show your pictures.
Yeah, we're.
How much? What do we got for time, boss?
About another half an hour.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
So Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
So maybe we can get into Ruben's Ranch.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it.
Ruben's Ranch is a place that I created. That was basically what I would unwind for after work. I have a 5-acre parcel, which is outside of the city of Coachella. It's in the jurisdiction, but outside of the city, the unincorporated area. I mean, not in unincorporated, but undeveloped area. But I started that project. I bought the property like in '81, and
pictures up there.
And yeah, I bought it in '81, and really didn't do anything till about '85, '86.
Wow.
There was no water, there was no sewer, there was no electricity. So I basically started and have created this venue. But it's been a real important part of our community too, because we do a lot of cool events there.
Yeah, I've seen some of the pictures you guys have. It looks like fun. We got to go out there one of these.
Yeah, whenever, man. Everybody's welcome there. There's
is it open to the public? I mean,
it's a private venue. This was a cool Vato
I like that.
Cafe.
I like that.
It was actually an old German sign, and I changed the Vato to Vato Loco, but just a real reflection, basically myself, the stuff I did.
Did you design the whole?
I designed it. I built everything.
Like the jail, you did that too?
No, that jail was already built. That was a part of a venue they did at Tom C.
Oh wow!
It was called the Treasure Hunt, but it went on in the '60s and '70s.
Okay.
And then a friend of mine, this guy Bobby Colvin, was a friend of mine. We used to call him the Mayor of Mecca. He was a crazy old guy, man, but a good friend of mine. But he did demolition construction.
Oh, nice.
So he was always collecting stuff. I bought a bunch of stuff on it, like the roof on that tile on that bathroom there. That came out of Dinah Shore's house. I got that from Bobby.
Oh, nice.
These slides were at the drive-in theater in Indio, which is now Martha's Kitchen. It's a homeless facility that provide medical care, and this is a wall that we put together, the Great Wall of Coachella.
That's just a little section of that wall.
Yeah, this is Chuck Moon, done by a friend of mine. I helped him with it, Martin Escobar. Unfortunately, we lost Martin during COVID, man. But me and another friend, Oscar, did this one. It has
license plates, huh?
License plates from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Nice.
Had the letters powder coated, and then me and him put it together. There used to be an old Route 66 sign, and we put neon on both sides.
Wow.
But just stuff from other.
Did you just all this come out of your head? Did you just to do this and make this happen?
Yeah. I basically designed the whole thing, and it's got a lot of historical perspective and from the valley, like the Rancho Grande Cafe that used to be downtown the city of Coachella.
Wow.
And the guy that has a real popular restaurant, Jalisco's bought the bar. He beat me to the punch. So he bought it, and he's a friend of mine, so I bought a bunch of stuff from him. Nice. He actually gave me the sign. I bought a snooker table. Yeah, that was an article that was done on our local paper. It's like a four-page. It was a front page during Christmas a few years ago, and it kind of gives a story of Ruben's Ranch and some of the stuff I've done.
What made you decide to create that Ruben's Ranch? Where did this come from? It's like,
I think it's just an outlet, brother. Living in art, come from an artistic family. There's 12 of us in our family. Unfortunately, lost a couple family members, a couple carnales, but my jefita was a music composer. She created over 1,000 songs.
Wow.
And so that was already embedded in the music and the art and all that. I love music. I'm a music collector.
Yeah, I even saw that you did there was a thing you did, a karaoke night.
Yeah.
Did you actually sing that?
No, I didn't sing that.
I said, because I saw it says Ruben sings. I'm like, oh dang, he sings too. Like, wow, what does this man do?
No, we did. It was more of a sing along. It wasn't actually singing.
Oh dang! I was like, oh dang,
yeah,
but right now.
It was actually the Rotary Club in Eastern Valley. Dr. Legria, a good friend of mine, and Jackie, she was a professor at College of the Desert, and my friend Carlos taught drama at one of the local high schools. So they're part of the leadership. They hit me up, and I opened up the doors for them, to raise money for. They do a lot of cool stuff in Eastern Valley. Help out the dilapidated trailer parks, and they do a lot of cool stuff. So they asked me, I said, man, I'm more than happy to open the door. So it's a private venue. I reach out, people reach out, nonprofits, and I try to help as many as I can. We do a lot of stuff too. And then we do, the private stuff too. We've done some Coachella after parties, we got Paris Hilton there. We did a couple videos about a little over a year ago with the Wu-Tang with RZA.
Yeah, I seen that you had a picture with him as well.
Yeah, RZA, really nice guy. His brother divine, man. They're just super cool cats, man. I had a chance to interact with them, and I didn't really know I've heard the story, but I got the chance to watch the documentaries on Netflix, man. I said, wow, these guys really went through the grinder, man.
Yeah, they've been through a lot.
Kind of you know.
I think that's why they're so well respected out there in the community, because also they've been through this.
Yeah, no, they're guys that have been there, done that, man. They're not, they just changed the narrative, man.
Yeah.
And he had the vision and the foresight, man, to be able to put something together, man, with all these knuckleheads,
Yeah, I mean, that's a hard thing, because once you're in that, like, there's a lot of rappers out there right now that they still have that mentality. They still get
stuck. Yeah, it's a challenge, man. It's a challenge, man. When you come from a neighborhood and you're going through that, man. It's
not easy to get out of.
You're promoting that narrative too.
Yeah.
And it was hard for him, man. I seen and he's a super intelligent guy, smart guy, and
that's the thing. A lot of these guys are out there that are in the neighborhoods. They're very smart. They artists. They can draw. They're just smart people, but they just don't make the right decisions.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. But some people, for whatever reason, man, end up in the institutions, man. It's not till years later that they change and said, "Damn, man, I wish I could have done things a little
when
different."
They get old.
Yeah. I have a good friend of mine in LA, and I'm not going to say his name because, he's.
We don't want to do that.
I would have to run it by him, man. But he's somebody that was in the system for 30 plus years. You know what I mean?
Wow.
He's like a Marama and grew up with one of the homies that did as much time as him. So we have a connection, a real connection with a few homies from the LA area. But and what's interesting now is that I think the state of California has a pilot program. So the CDC, which is Department of Corrections,
right,
would have never dreamed about hiring one of these guys, and he actually works for the CDC now.
Really?
And and this guy's been there, I think, going on 2 years now. And
what does he do? If you don't mind, what does he do?
Well, he mentors the prisoners coming out of prison.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And a lot of them don't know. He didn't tell the story, so they find out. He goes, "Damn, man, you did all that at temple, huh?" He goes, "Yeah, but I've been, but he doesn't, talk about, oh, yeah, I did all this time." It's not till they find it through the grapevines that,
wow,
he did all this time. But he's trying to help these guys, trying to mainstream back in and program into back into society, right, and tell them, look at, man, if I did, you could do it too. Yeah. So he's quite a mentor, and he's just a great guy, man. A good vato that unfortunately got caught up back in the days as a young man. And
that's how we all started.
And had to spend all those years in prison. I have another guy that I met. I guess I could tell you his name because he has a program on Netflix that he.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he got convicted for a murder beef, and he served 20 years. Wow. They had a group that helped him out, and they ended up finding out that this guy went back to court, they opened the case, went back that he was innocent.
Wow.
So the state
after 20 years?
After 20 years. So
wow.
The state ended up paying like $10 million.
Well, they paid him for that.
They paid him, and he's currently.
You don't hear that often. You don't hear about them paying.
But he's currently running for state assembly in the LA.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's amazing.
But there's a documentary on him on Netflix. But it's a interesting story. He's just another great guy, man. That unfortunately got caught up and had to do all that time, man, as an innocent man. But those stories are out there, brother. There's
lots.
Everybody says they're innocent, but realistically, there is a lot of innocent people doing tempo, and unfortunately, they don't have the means to be able to defend themselves.
To prove it,
yeah. So that's another story in itself.
Oh, big time, yeah. There's so many. Like I was talking about Mr. Fuentes here from Mike here from the Library podcast where we're on right now, the Network, and there's a lot of people out there that are doing things like this, and that they're being put in situations like getting accused of crimes and being incarcerated, and they don't have like you said, they don't have the means to defend themselves, and it's just unfortunate, because you really can't do anything. I mean, you're stuck in there. Like I saw a story the other day too. A guy got convicted of a murder, didn't commit it. After 15 years, he was let out. All he got was a thank you. I mean, and that's pretty sad.
No, I think the fortunate thing about Frankie is that he was able to at least get compensated some of the money, because I don't think the $10 million is going to work with 20 years in prison, man.
No, no money could put
all the fucking nice conditions you got to go through, especially nowadays with all the madness there. You know what I mean? But as soon as he got out, he started programming him, and and he really got involved in public service. He's mentoring a lot of kids now. He got involved with Homeboy Industries,
Nice.
and there's a lot of people supporting his candidacy. And Antonio Vegoso, the ex-mayor of LA, Eva Longoria, I think Oscar Arroya, Father Greg Boyle. It started Homeboy Industries. He's also one of person that's supporting them. But I'm hoping that it wins the city assembly because I think he'll really make a big impact. Somebody that's had that experience as incarcerated. Imagine 20 years as an innocent man and able to go back and tell the story and really make change the hearts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah, he just did a program for our school district out here.
Oh, really?
And he was one of the guest speakers. But yeah, just an amazing guy.
Yeah, you got to be an amazing person to come out of jail after 20 years of knowing that you're innocent, and then to come out and still have a positive attitude like that, and not want to take revenge on people or
no. And his whole thing,
just be angry.
His whole thing is just to change, the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And making sure they don't they stay away from that lifestyle. You know what I mean? And the kids really don't have a clue. You know what I mean? Of what could potentially happen to them, and it's changed a lot. The system has changed a lot. Prison system now it's bad, and the kids, they have no clue till they're actually there, but we have to do our part and try to deter these kids from engaging in that lifestyle and being part of those institutions, man, because those should be all college institutions, man, where we're integrate them back into our communities across the state, across the country, man, and being positive members of our community and really making a difference, in humanity.
Yeah, but it all takes someone like yourself who mentors these kids to do that and to give them that push that they need. Because a lot of times they don't get it at home because broken homes mostly, or whatever's going on in situations. But they need people like yourself.
No, talk about wrong, brother. You look at these kids, man.
Positive.
The odds are against us, man.
Yeah.
And then
born with that. It's just born that way.
They're against us, man, and we have to do what we can, man, to navigate that whole system and try to create a positive narrative out of our life experiences, man, because it just can change in a heartbeat. And before I know it, man, boom, you're gone, and then you become part of the state, and then everything else happens, man. It's a survival thing.
Yep.
You have to be part of this to be able to survive in these institutions, man. And unfortunately, you look at a lot of the homies that have been there, have done a lot of times, you know what I mean? And towards the end of the careers, man, they say, you know what? I'm done with this, man. I want to go back and I want to try to make an impact, And some of those guys are, Big D, and Kilroy out of LA. You look at their stories, man. We're able to talk back, and obviously these guys turn Cristianos.
Yeah.
And my thing is whatever it takes, brother, to be able to change kids' hearts and minds. But they've made a big impact, our Blajos, obviously Cristiano too, and those guys have really had a big impact on some of the kids in some of the neighborhoods. That are involved in that lifestyle, that madness.
Yeah.
But we need people like that, man, that are going to change that narrative, man, and give these kids a positive, future where they're able to defend themselves and create some type of career, man, where they could sustain themselves and eventually a family, the kids and.
Yeah, like I said, once you get this event, your facility started, it's going to happen. You're gonna.
I think so.
You're going to make a big impact in the community out here.
I talked to these guys.
There's a lot of openings that a lot of doors open for them they never had before.
No, it's going to be amazing, brother, because I have all these friends that I have across the state, and a lot of these guys have told me, Ruben, when you get started, man, they ask me, hey, how's it going, and hey, when are you going to get started, and we want to be part of it, and I love to bring these guys in, man. And sometimes you could bring a guy in a three-piece suit and all that graduated from the best institutions in the country, man, but they're not going to listen, especially a kid that's involved in the mix. You bring a dude that has done all this tiempo and has lived that lifestyle, man, and they're going to pay close attention.
Oh yeah.
And we're hoping that that something resonates in their mind and their heart that they want to change it up, man. They want to go a different direction, man. But that's always the goal. Is try to have a positive impact on these kids growing up, and they're living a certain lifestyle. And they're tough, man. The situation's tough. The mom on drugs, the dad on drugs. It's a generational thing, man. So to break that stigma, man, sometimes you have 3-4 generations of active gang members.
Yeah, it's tough to get through them.
it's tough, man.
But you know, as someone like yourself and people,
but it's not impossible.
no, no, it takes someone like yourself and other people like who have that positivity and can feed that to them and let them see, you know, hey, look, I went through this, and look at me now.
So we want to bring people
like belief in them.
Yeah, we want to bring people like that, and I think an array of people, you know, that it'll hopefully have an impact. And I'm not talking negative about somebody that graduated from Ivy League school or with a 3-piece suit, but I'm just using an example. You know what I mean? But we want to bring those guys in too, because obviously they have a story to tell too.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, some of those guys have gone through the hardship and then eventually graduated from some of the best institutions in the country. You know, as architects, as doctors, as professionals. You know what I mean? And those are great stories too to share with communities.
Oh yeah, people need to hear that, especially young kids. Like you said, the young kids need to hear that stuff. And like I said, just to get that to them.
Hey, we have a lot of cool role models. You know, we've got an astronaut the Chicano that worked for NASA. You know,
I think you mentioned that before.
Estrada, you know, but he's, so we have examples out there that have done some incredible stuff, man. So you're looking for mentors, man. They're out there, especially people that we can relate to.
Yeah,
their own color and they grew up in the neighborhood and can really make a big impact on our community, man. So, we always hope that these kids look at these guys, man, as role models. You know? Yeah. I have a connection too with a lot of the Hollywood guys, like Pepe Serna. He actually lives out here. Pepe's been featured in a bunch of movies. Scarface, the guy got his arm cut off, but he lives here in the valley. And
oh, really?
He's a good friend of mine too, man. So we have access to a lot of these guys in Hollywood too that have actually reached out and said, yeah, we can help in whatever way.
That's beautiful, man. It's gonna be a good thing.
So we I think once we get up and going, man, it's gonna be an amazing space.
Oh yeah.
I think that it'll make a big difference, not only in Coachella, but because we want to bring. It's not just for Coachella; it's for the whole valley and anybody that wants to come and just be part of the cultural center.
Yeah. And when do you guys plan on actually getting started on that? When's it actually going to be?
It's actually started already. We were starting on the construction on it, and right now we're in the middle of actually trying to finish the plans. So I have this lady by the name of Colleen Edwards. She's part of one development company, and she pitched the idea. Ruben, I think that the approach we should take is we should complete, the money that you have already is complete the plans, a full set of drawings. I have plans that were done by some people that I worked with, but they're not full set of plans. And these guys, the planning department, Coachella, hey, we got to go to the planning commission. I said, all right, man, whatever. This belongs to the city. Just donating my time, trying to get this thing done. I think there should be some exceptions
to
the rules. Right? I'm thinking because I'm not charging a nickel, but these guys want us to do the typical protocol. So I said, all right, cool. Yeah. So we're in the middle of that. We're going to try to finish the plans, and then once we do it, we'll present it to the city, and then get it approved, and then we're up and going. And we have a little bit of seed money to get started.
Start groundbreaking. That's like still a ways out.
One of the ideas, we started already.
Oh yes, yeah,
we started already.
Okay, okay.
So we're working on the first phase, but we're gonna stand still because of the city, saying, hey, you guys gotta do the protocol stuff, whatever. So we're in the middle of that. Hopefully we get the plans done, and then we're able to present them, and then we get rolling. But the idea on finishing the plans, and it came from the lady Colleen, is actually that we're hoping to have the set of plans, the full footed plans on phase 1, 2, and 3, and then we start dangling that out there, and then hopefully somebody a generous heart will come out and say, you know what, you guys in Coachella, California, I have $5-6 million, whatever it's going to take to complete this. And
it's not an impossible dream.
Those are all wishful thinkings, but those are possibilities too. But my concentration right now is to do the first phase, get that done, and then utilize the space as we can with all these different departments, and then use the space it is, because it has a big awning all the way across the property.
Wow.
From one end to the other.
How big is that?
It's a little under an acre, but it's a cool little.
That's a big awning.
It's a cool little space. The community stage has a little amphitheater, so people will be able to hang out there. We'll have grass, and we have different performance from people who want to perform.
Look at what opens up.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a cool space, man, for the community.
Oh yeah,
I think it's going to be real nice.
And what do you have a name for that? What's a name for it?
It's called Centro Cultural.
Okay.
Music and the arts, and our logo is changing hearts through the arts.
There you go. It's nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
So basically, yeah, basically embracing, just people across, the
Nice.
board. But I think that's what we'll do once we get up and going, man. Because people, everybody in the planet seems to have some kind of artistic ability. You just got to nurture it
Yep.
and build it, man. And some people say, they start an art project or painting or ceramics, and they said, "Shit, I didn't know I was an artist, man." But I think it's built in everybody,
Yeah, it is. It
You
is.
just gotta,
Except for me, I can't. I make stick man.
no. That's everybody says that, but when you practice it, practice makes perfect, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just creating a passion for whatever it is. You could build tile, you could do ceramics, and you could do pottery.
I play music, brother. That's just my
music. Well,
I'm a DJ. I just mix music. That's all I do.
Well, hopefully one day we'll have the facility up and going, so we'll have some creative artists. We have a bunch of them already, but I think that we've always liked the space of having somewhere where you can actually develop the music. We have technicians and engineers that have actually raised their hand to me and say, "Ruben, we want to help them to get up and going." There, so I think it's just opening the facility, and then everything you build it and it'll come.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that to you.
But I think that hopefully one day we'll be there. Hopefully soon, and we're up and going, and we're creating music, and creating art, and
when will the first phase actually be finished, completed?
we had some goals of doing hopefully by next November, November. But we'll see how it plays out. But I'm trying to push it, man. I'm trying to get it done. At least the first phase.
Yeah.
Because once they get the vision, they see the vision on the first phase. Actually completed, and then we have architectural renderings on what the facility would potentially look like. Excuse me, but it's going to change because basically the way that we're just kind of patching, But at this point, I think we want to go ahead and start from new construction.
Nice.
And build it up. That way, when you walk in, and what's interesting about it's like a horseshoe. So we have the recording studio, we have the library, we have the community stage, and it goes back this way. And then we have the ceramic center, the wood shop, the welding shop,
wow,
the dance studio, the culinary kitchen, and the big gallery with a coffee shop, and then some administrative buildings in the back. So the idea is to have a roll-up doors. So when we do events, everybody can see the demonstrations.
That'd be nice.
Or people creating art,
That'd be really cool. Can't wait to see that happen. Very excited about that too. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on in this little valley. Like you said, the valley is growing like crazy, and
we got a handful of them. So
yeah, a lot of stuff going on, and
I wish we could double the time.
Yeah,
the hours in a day, man. But
nobody enough, and never have enough. Like this show, like I said, we supposed to be an hour show. We've gone an hour and a half. So thank you guys for letting me do this. Appreciate you guys very much. Like I said, man's got a lot of stories, got a lot of stuff to talk about. We have him on the show again. Definitely for sure, make another happen.
I want to thank everybody for this listening, and really appreciate your. We have some amazing stories out here, but just a little bit of stories of what's going on in Coachella Valley and Coachella specifically. That's where I reside in the Eastern Valley. But we do the whole. I said we do work across the valley from Palm Springs, and everything in between. But we'll continue to do what we're doing.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of stuff going on out here in this valley. It's growing, and this man right here, like I said, he's an interesting man. He's got a lot of good stuff going on. He's a mentor to the kids. Like I said, he owns Coachella, Ruben's Ranch in Coachella. Like I said, Google that, see it. It's a very interesting place there, and I'm going to go out there and check it out one of these weekends. We take the wife out there and just check it myself. It's beautiful in the pictures. I mean, I want to see it.
You guys can
many different ideas. And
you can go to Ruben's Ranch Coachella on Facebook or YouTube, and you'll see there's a guided tour Ruben's Ranch Coachella. That's another one on YouTube, and kind of get.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, that's one of them. I mean, there's another one on Palm Springs Life that was done, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. It's called El Hombre Grande. I don't know if they meant the size of me or.
Yeah, I think that's what they meant. Yeah,
that's probably
because you're a big man in the valley.
Yeah,
you're a big man out here.
Yes, it's called El Hombre Grande on Palm Springs Life. That was a nice little documentary on the ranch and some of the stuff I've done and doing in the valley. So
yeah, and there's a lot of good things out there. A lot of things coming up. You guys got to stick around for it. So we're gonna end the show right now. Pretty much, get ready to get out of here and let this man get home. He's got work to do tomorrow, and I got some things to do. What's up, Abel? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for checking in. So again, May 23rd, we're gonna have Mr. Frank Duran on our show. He's also the president of City Cruisers Car Club. He's a founder from that. So we'll have him on our show, and he'll be talking about a lot of good stuff, and he'll be bringing some pictures and some videos with him as well. So we'll be showing you and sharing that with you guys. And don't forget, check out my show on Sundays, 1 to 5 p.m., classifybetter.net. I play a lot of good music from 1 to 5 o'clock, oldies, old school, cumbia, ranchera, a little bit of everything, whatever I'm in the mood for, you guys are going to get to hear it, and you get to see it as well. I shall also share pictures of car shows and videos of car shows I've gone to and have done. So look for that. That's Sundays, 1 to 5 p.m., classifybetter.net. Don't forget, August 17th, we're going to be at the Golden Acorn Casino in Campo, California. We're going to be out there with street tattoo events and ladies of street tattoo events. We'll be out there doing our thing. That's August 17th, 2024. It's going to be a good one. And then on June 13th, we're going to actually have the Belon and Angie from Street Tattoo Events and Ladies of Street Tattoo Events will be on our show. There'll be some guests here. They're going to be talking about all the events they got coming up. Well, they got a whole lot coming up. They got June 13th. June 13th? Yeah, June 13th. Sorry. I got my all mixed up. June 13th. God, I can't speak. They're going to be having the Day at the Bay Car Show, and that's going to be in San Diego. We'll be out there showing our cars out there for that one. So hope you guys come out and join us again. That's June 13th, Day at the Bay Car Show. And then I think it's September the 7th. They're going to have the Bomb Fest. Gosh, I can't.
Yeah, the Bomb Fest.
Yeah, the Bomb Fest out there in San Diego. It's also going to be at Embarcadero Park. That's again September 7th on that one, if I'm correct. And then August the 28th, they have another event, and that's a Teddy Bear Drive, and that's by Ladies of Street Tattoo Events as well. So look for them. Look at our Facebook, our Instagram, our website as well. You can see all the different shows that we will be going to and attending. And again, that's a Teddy Bear second annual Stuffed Bear Animal Drive, and that's going to be on June 29th. I gave you the wrong date. Sorry about that. It's June 29th. That's another one. That's by Ladies of Street Tattoo Events. Miss Angie and her crew will be out there collecting toys and giving them for the kids in the community there. So come on out and join us. And also, they're going to be out in Texas, in Lubbock, Texas, Street Tattoo Events. They got their indoor custom car show, and that's going to be taking place on, I guess I forgot the date on that one, September 28th. I'm sorry.
So Frank will be here next Thursday?
He'll be on the 20th.
Yeah, Frank is one of the old cats at one of the original lowriders in Coachella. He was actually with the Persuasions.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
And
Yeah.
then he
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then they started the City Cruisers. But
He's been around for a long time, Frank.
there's a bunch of guys that unfortunately aren't with us. Danny Quack Carmona, and we had Frank Lopez, also one of the original lowriders in Coachella. But unfortunately, a lot of them have passed on. But there's still some of our old cats still there too. So I want to just thank everybody again. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes, thank you guys for checking out the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, this is the podcast show. I'm sorry, the show. Yeah, and I haven't even touched this thing yet, man. Oh, I'm nervous still. Yeah, anyways, this is the show. My name is DJ Primo. Thank you. This is my guest, Mr. Ruben Gonzales. I want to thank you guys all for tuning in. Again, thanks to the production crew. Thank you guys for a great job today and allowing me to have this podcast here on Network. And look forward to seeing you guys again on the 23rd. Or actually, next Thursday we'll be live here, but this is going to be more of a slideshow event, slideshow show, because I'm not going to be having a guest that next week. But so thank you guys again. And we'll see you guys next Thursday. I'm out. You guys have a great work week. Good.
Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it.
And God bless you guys. Have a safe week, and we'll see you guys next week, next Thursday.